Joseph YouTube, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Republican women say they will switch parties after DeSantis approves alimony law. So guys, DeSantis just signed a law that will completely remove permanent alimony. I never thought that this would happen this soon in any state, but of course, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna be Florida. That makes sense. This is pretty amazing because this may be the first drastic step we've seen to laws changing in family court in a particular state, that being Florida. No more wasting time. Let's check it out.
The top of the article is cut off, but yes, it says Republican women say they will switch parties after DeSantis approves alimony law. So last Friday, Ron DeSantis signed a bill into law. It is SB 1416 that will get rid of permanent alimony payments. Well, there was a giant uproar from a group called First Wives Advocacy Group. It's a coalition of older women who say their lives will be upended without their alimony payments. The law allows a judge to reduce or terminate alimony payments based on a number of factors, like the age and health and economic impact on the person who's making the payments. Even if you're married for 20 years plus, you'll probably only get 75% of the term of the marriage. There's a quote in here from one of the women that says 3,000 women across the state of Florida are switching to Democrat and we will campaign against him forever. I gotta say, I never thought that this would be the thing that would wake them up. I bet free healthcare is looking pretty good right now in your old age.
All right, there you guys go. And I can't tell you guys how many men I've run into who are currently paying alimony for the rest of their lives. Of course, unless their ex-wife decides to remarry, but why would she do that? Why would she do that if she knows that would jeopardize the money that she has coming in? I've talked to a bunch of different women, man. I remember this one hairdresser told me the only way she survived during the pandemic was because of that alimony. And I asked her, I said, well, are you dating? She says, yeah, I've got a man. I've been with him for years, but I'm not going to marry him because, that's going to stop the payments. So this is something that obviously is taken advantage of many times, and these laws have not yet caught up to the equality that modern women currently have. They're still set up from a time where women couldn't work, go out and figure it out on their own. I've always said there's no reason somebody should be paying alimony for the rest of their lives. That's just crazy. Now, 75% of, let's say, 20 years of a marriage, that's like 15 years of alimony. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a long time for somebody to be paying somebody regardless. But for someone to be in a position where they have to pay someone for the rest of that person's life, unless if they decide to remarry, just seems like some type of modern day slavery to me. Comment down below if you guys agree. What do you guys think of this? There's going to be one more video I'm going to play here. Obviously, you heard the chick in this video talk about how women are threatening to change parties based on yada, 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 and they're in their feelings over the situation. Of course, there'll be people who will be affected very negatively, just like men have been now for years. But this change needs to happen, not only in Florida, but I believe in other states as well. Let's check out this first comment that reads, these men complain about alimony and calling women greedy are hilarious. Y'all don't even have money, let alone wives, this chick says, so please sit down. Okay, so obviously this chick has resorted to insulting the men who are commenting, reacting to the situation. Somebody else responded back to that woman and said, this isn't child support. This is we got a divorce and now I have to keep financially supporting you for the rest of my life. Which is followed by this next comment from Becky that says, these are likely older women who were married in the time when it was expected that they'd stay at home to raise the children and keep the home. I agree with that. And too bad. Unfortunate, but too bad. There'll never be a perfect time to bring this type of change. People will have to suffer the consequences for the greater good of many men who've been unfairly taken advantage of, who will benefit from this law. In Florida, another comment here from another man says, if you're strong and independent, go take your strong and independent and get a job. Y'all don't need alimony and honestly don't deserve it. LOL. Considering that they initiate the majority of divorces for simply not being happy when they vowed to stay through sickness, death, plague, media showers, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm bored, need a new joystick to bounce on, so peace. Oh, by the way, yeah, pay me for as long as possible. I That's good coffee. Another comment here says, which is it? Are women strong and independent, or are they the weaker sex, dependent on men to survive for their basic needs? Another comment here says, women are strong and independent. They don't need a man's money. I agree. Here's another comment that says, Republican women are finally being targeted and they're not happy. The creator responded back and says, now they will start to fight back, because what does a Republican man love? A good wife at home. I don't think men these days, at least the ones that are drinking coffee, I don't think they necessarily want a woman to stay home. They just want the laws to not screw them over unfairly. They just don't want women to be incentivized to break their vows, because they know they're going to get the better end of the stick after the divorce. Here's another comment that says, women sacrifice career to stay home and look after children. It's almost like men don't want any accountability or responsibility. Somebody else here responded back to that comment, says, women don't sacrifice shit. Here's a final video I want to play of one of these women who most likely be getting affected, or at least the age range of women who will really get affected by this.
Jay, this new law means that permanent alimony has come to an end in Florida.
Am I surprised that Ron DeSantis has signed this bill into law? I'm not surprised at all, not by him. He is not a fan of women in general. He's not a fan of anybody except people like him. That's a rule. But who's this law going to affect the most? It's going to affect those women who have stayed home with children, those women that are older now. Yeah, you know, the woman who's in her late 50s, early 60s, and the husband has decided that this isn't for me anymore. I'm going to go and live my best life. Yeah, he leaves. But that woman who has never worked because he's wanted her to stay home, like a lot of husbands do, now is left with no options for survival. Who's going to hire a woman that's in her early 60s? She may not be, what that employer is looking for. How is she going to support herself? Well, that man runs off with the money he's still making and leaves her behind. That's who this is going to hurt.
Yeah, because men have been the ones running off from marriage, right?
People like that. People that have spent their entire life taking care of their family. That's who this is going to hurt. So am I surprised that Ron DeSantis has made this part of Florida's history? Not really. Not at all. But I think this is a step backwards for women again in the United States.
How you guys doing? What do you guys have planned today? Comment down below. My mind drifted off there while she was talking about something about women and disadvantage. Anyways, till next time, guys. Appreciate you for checking out another episode of the Coffee Pod. I'm out. Peace.